Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the virtual webinar session. Today's topic we have from Trend Micro, we have hybrid cloud security, and we have our pre-sales consultant, Mr. Javed Ali, who will be running you through the presentation. In case you have any queries during the presentation, I would request you to put in all your questions in the Q&A box, and Javed will be able to answer all of them at the end of the session. So, Javed, over to you.
Good evening, guys. Thanks for joining the session and welcome you all. Today's session, we are going to cover the hybrid cloud security in Trend Micro. So the hybrid cloud security means this is our server security product, a specialized server security product, which will be applicable for both on-prem and protecting your cloud workloads. So because of this hybrid opportunity, we call it as a hybrid cloud security product. So deep security, also called as hybrid cloud security. So you already know about Trend Micro. So Trend Micro has a presence in the market for over 30 years, and it founded in 1989, has headquarters in Japan and US, has millions of customers, and this is the three main pillars of the Trend Micro, and the user protection, the hybrid cloud, and network defense. In all these categories, Trend Micro is the leader in Gartner Magic Quadrant consistently for over 10 years, and with the other third-party reports like NSS Lab, the Forrester Wave report, IDC report, everything, the Trend Micro is the leader. And as per the IDC report, Trend Micro deep security product has over 35% of market share. So we don't have any competition for this hybrid cloud security market. This is totally won by Trend Micro across the globe. With all the public cloud environments, the private cloud, the data center, everything has Trend Micro deep security product. So in our last session, over the last few weeks, we covered about the endpoint protection, the network defense, and the email security offerings and everything. Now we move into that main product called deep security, which belongs to our hybrid cloud security area. And as you know, the Trend Micro has these main three pillars, and it is connected with the threat defense, connected threat defense strategy. So if customer is existing Trend Micro customer, and if they are using the Trend Micro products in the endpoint security, the email security, and the deep security and network defense, it will provide the connected threat defense. Even if they have any of these two solutions, it can provide the connected threat defense. So we introduced the world first extended detection and remediation, the extended XDR technologies in addition to the EDR. So we are the first one to introduce that, and this is applicable for endpoint as well as email protection users. Same like that, for deep security also we have lots of patented technologies, and something which we will cover in the coming slides. And as you know, that Trend Micro acquired recently acquired one company called Cloud Conformity to make the strong presence in the cloud security market. And still we have these product the deep security. The product name is unchanged, deep security. But when you are going to the container things and the Kubernetes, the serverless environments, there will be some license specific things are there. But as of now, you need to understand about the deep security, the architecture, the model-wise license, and what are all the protection strategy, and how the licenses will be utilized properly. You can check all these things in the coming slides. And the Trend Micro has a smart protection network, which is our threat intelligence cloud. And as you know, we have millions of customers all over the world with all the verticals. So it can provide the industry specific threat intelligence and threat feeds to the all customers network. So in that way it can prevent the zero-day attacks and some unknown attacks within a second. And let's cover more about the product hybrid cloud security. So this year, at least 75% of company running the containers and the serverless environment for the DevOps operations. And the infrastructure change very well. It starts with the physical server, then went to the virtual servers like VMware, the Microsoft Hyper-V, and then we moved into the VDI environments, the virtual desktop environments, the thin clients, the Citrix, the VMware, and everything. Then we moved into the public cloud environments like AWS, VMware, the Azure, the IBM Cloud, the Oracle Cloud, Google Cloud, and everything. And then we moved into the container environment and serverless environment, and it is going on. So we need specific security solutions that should protect everything. The environment should not be dependent on the license usage or something. So the customer will have one security solution that should suit all their multi-cloud environments. So either they have the workloads in Azure or AWS or multi-cloud environment. They have some workloads in Azure, some workloads in Oracle, some workloads in Google Cloud, and some workloads in private data centers. So the same security product should have the unified management and unified policy across all these infrastructure. And the license should be flexible, and the reporting should be unified, and management should be unified. So one product should have the capability to handle all these infrastructure change. So we need that kind of product in this market, and deep security is good example for that. We have hybrid cloud technology, so it will support everything, the multi-cloud environment, the consistency of the policies across each public cloud environment, the container level, the serverless environment, and everything. So it does not mean if customer has only the on-prem environment, the deep security license will not be utilized properly. It won't be like that. So even if they have the on-prem environment also, we are supporting all the platforms. Like this is platform independent product. Either they have the Linux, the Windows, the Solaris, HP, or any kind of platforms available across the world. It can support. And as you know already, we are partnering with the VMware for the agentless security. So if you have one single virtual appliance, the deep security virtual appliance, it will be installed at the ESXi level, and whatever VM you installed above that. For example, if you run more than 50-60 VMs above the ESXi layer, still we can protect it using the agentless protection mechanism. And for that, you don't need any additional license for that. The basic NSX license that comes with the ESXi and VMware will support this agentless protection mechanism. So we have lots of other features also. In addition to anti-malware, we are offering lots of other features more than the basic things. So we will cover everything in the coming slides. So this is for the hybrid cloud evaluation. We need to understand where is the customer roadmap. For example, if they are going for the cloud environment for specific business use case, or with all business use cases, and what kind of roadmap they have, and what kind of infrastructure strategy and everything we need to analyze. And as you know already, the security is the third responsibility. So for example, if you consider any public cloud environments like Azure or AWS or Oracle, any cloud environments, they can provide you the infrastructure. So compute, storage, database, networking, the domain availability zones, and the failover things, the regions. So this global infrastructure and the foundation of the services will be provided by the cloud providers. So, but the security in the application and the data level will not be provided by the cloud applications cloud service providers. So for example, uh, if you take the infrastructure in the cloud level, they will take care of the denial of service attacks, the DDoS, the penetration testing, and the public IP usage, and the brute force attack prevention. Like that, infrastructure level, they can provide some basic security features. But inside the applications, so like the world is continuously changing, and threat landscapes are changing, and business use cases are changing. So nowadays lots of applications are there, lots of workloads are provisioned by the cloud team. So so within all these applications and data, we need to the customer has to take the responsibility and provide the security for that. So whatever threats or security breaches happening inside the applications or the data in that three tier applications, so customer has to be responsible. And if any security breaches happen inside the application, they will be blamed, customer will be blamed. So we should have the strong security things inside the applications and data also. The security is the third responsibility. So deep security helps you in three main areas. So that it is very powerful. It has strong protection against vulnerabilities, the malware and unauthorized changes and everything. So it is streamlined. As I said before, you can get the consistency, protection, and the visibility optimized for every part of your hybrid cloud. So for example, if customer has the workloads in multi-cloud environment also, the workloads in Oracle, the Azure, AWS, everywhere, so still we can support using the consistent policy. The manageability is very good, and the visibility of the workloads also good in deep security. So you have the streamlined product which is optimized for all the part of your hybrid cloud network, and go automated. So, what is mean by automation? With the DevOps team, the multiple stakeholders are involved. You can see the tester will be there, the application team will be there, the business use case will be tested by the another team, and the functionality and everything will be checked by one team, and the security team will be for fixing the bugs and everything. So multiple stakeholders are nowadays involved in the cloud level. So the security should be automated. Since the multiple teams are involved, there will be some opportunities for other things also. For example, they may do some misconfigurations, or the security code will have some security bugs or something. It will leads to the main vulnerabilities, critical vulnerabilities. So the workloads are being provisioned by all the teams. For example, if you give this cloud access to any of the teams, like any of the business team or DevOps teams or someone, they will continuously provision the workloads in the cloud. So as per their requirement, so it will lead to the security gap. And you are giving the administrator the Office 365 account details and everything. So they may use the root account, and they will take care. They will make that account theft, or the account takeover things, or something can happen over the cloud, or they can run some Bitcoin softwares on the cloud workloads, because administrator has root privilege. They can do anything. So that kind of insider threat also possible on the cloud nowadays. So insider threats, and the configuration misuse, misconfiguration, and all these problems are there. Infrastructure level problems are there. The workloads are getting automated. So deep security helps you in resolving all these three main areas. It is very powerful and streamlined, and it is automated. So why do I need specialized workload security? So some of the customer want to follow some complaints. For example, all the banking, the financial institution, and insurance companies following the payment card industries, like credit card providers, Like that, lots of industries are there. They have specific complaints to follow. So in this case, the deep security helps the enterprise to achieve these PCI complaints and something. And healthcare industries are there. They need to follow these HIPAA compliance and GDPR are there. And if any complaints is not made, it will lead to huge fine. So customer need to follow all these complaints, and deep security is help them to achieve these things. And uh, and the threats, so we are covering all the threats available across the network, the vulnerabilities and malware and open source threats. So we are helping the enterprise to solve all these threats in addition to the complaints. So now we go into the uh, first main thing. So how we are going to protect against the vulnerabilities, the malware and unauthorized changes. So how we are in deep security, how we are protecting against the malware, the vulnerabilities and unauthorized changes. So first, you can see that grayed out column, the container image scanning. So we are not only for the on-prem and cloud things, and we are specific to the container environment also. Before even provisioning the container, we will check the container image and everything for the complaints, malware, vulnerabilities, and everything. And deep security has model-wise licenses. So so the deep security has the enterprise license. It includes all these three modules. You can see in the top, the network specific modules are there, system security specific modules are there, the malware prevention modules are there. So like that, we have three modules. For example, if customer want a cost effective solution, they don't want some of the features in the system security, then we can suggest the other two models, the malware prevention and network security. So we have this kind of things, the license specific things. So they can choose the license whatever they need as per their requirement. So network security, under the network security, we have IPS, firewall and vulnerability scanning. IPS, you may hear about the latest features we are offering called virtual patching. The virtual patching is the main feature. This is critical for the current network environments. The virtual patching, we are providing the zero-day vulnerability patching to all the customers. For example, how it will work? We have the team called Zero-Day Initiative Team, who is the major contributor for zero-day threats across the world. And since 2007, the team started. It has major contribution of all zero-day attacks, attack signatures. So in 2018, we detected more than 67 percentage of zero-day attacks, and we provided signatures to all the customers. So how it will work? It has big bug bounty program, and it has strong internal threat research team also, the ZDI team. So they are getting the signatures from lots of other outsiders, and they will disclose it to the vendors like Microsoft, the Acrobat company, and some of the other companies like Oracle, Sun Microsystems, and everything. So after we disclosing the things based on the severity of the threats, they will release the patch between 2 weeks to 3 months, based on the criticality of the threats. So for example, uh, our Trend Micro ZDI team disclosed some critical vulnerability to them. They will release the patch after 2 weeks. So between these 2 weeks, the customer network will leave vulnerable. So in between the time, they don't have any protection mechanism, and hacker can make use of this zero day vulnerable applications. So our ZDI team will provide the signature for this kind of things, and we can form the virtual layer inside the servers. So for example, if customer come to know that and deploy the patch even after the 2 weeks released by the vendor, for every for every patch they need to restart the servers, and it will impact the production. So that kind of management related issues are there. But with the deep security, it will form the virtual layer only at the top of the server. So our virtual patching things will reside on the top layer, and it can protect the customer network from all the vulnerabilities exist. So with IPS, we have more than 7,000 rules. It does not mean one rule cover only the one vulnerability. The one rule will cover multiple vulnerabilities, and the deep security will frequently assess your server for the vulnerabilities, and based on the recommendation, so it will only do the recommendation scan, and it will assign the rule automatically. There is no need of admin intervention required for this. So so it will analyze the customer server for the for the vulnerabilities, and it will do the recommendation scan and automatically assign the policies. Let's say out of the 7,000 rule, it will assign 100 200 policies which will cover all the vulnerabilities exist in their application. In server, we can run lots of applications related to the the database and everything. So it will be automatically installed, and it will form the virtual layer to protect against the exploits used by the hacker. And um, and this is one of the main thing, the IPS. And we don't recommend deep security without these IPS, because this is the advanced protection for all the customers. It is protecting the customers by reducing the threat vectors. So vulnerability protection is the main thing for all the customers, because it is reducing the attack surface. When you reduce the vulnerability exist on the applications and operating system level, the hacker don't have um, any vulnerability to make use of that. So the automatically it will reduce the payload, the malicious payload, the exploits, everything, if we reduce the vulnerability. So we recommend these IPS completely for the deep security. Even if customer opt for the malware prevention only, we recommend them to add these network security as well, the IPS as well. So the firewall is there, the vulnerability scanning also there. As I said, the firewall, this is like in addition to the 5 tuple mechanism, the port protocol, the IP, the source IP and destination IP, it will check the protocols and applications as well. And then the system security. Under the system security, we have application control, integrity monitoring, and log inspection. Application control, it will lock down the application usage. For example, the server should not have the option to install any other applications. We need to control the applications. If we control the applications, we can control the threat vectors automatically. And the integrity monitoring, it will protect you from the unauthorized changes. For example, uh, you may hear about the product called Tripwire. For the specific integrity monitoring only, they have the product in the Tripwire, and we can compete it against that product. And in addition to all the malware prevention and network security, we can even provide the integrity monitoring. And log inspection, what log inspection will do? Integrity monitoring, for attendees who don't know about this integrity monitoring, I will tell you some good examples. For example, like the C drives, whatever the files residing in the C drive, the registry things and the process, this is very important. If any changes happen to the directory, the administrators would get notified, and not only the detection, it has to prevent the changes happening in the C drive, because lots of ransomware and lots of attack happen at the OS layer and C drive folder only. And if you have any critical files, they can even enable this integrity monitoring on their custom directories as well. So if any changes happening, or any process running on that such directory, then it will be blocked, and it will be notified to the administrator automatically. So this is how integrity monitoring work, and Tripwire is the competitor for us. And log inspection also there. Log inspection, what it will do? it is like mini SIM solution. It will collect all the logs from your different softwares. For example, you may run any kind of software in your Windows environment, the Linux environment, Unix environment, and everything. So it will collect the events occurring on all the system related softwares, and it can present to the user based on the event tagging, the critical things, the severity of the logs and everything. So it will be like a mini SIM solution. And in case, for example, any unauthorized access, brute force, or something happen at the server, so log inspection will notify accordingly to the administrator. And malware prevention. Malware prevention, if customer need only the malware prevention, they can go for this. It includes all the systematic way of protecting the threats, the anti ransomware, the signature less attacks, like which are coming in the script based script, javascript or shell script or something. And pre execution machine learning, post execution machine learning also there, and sandbox also there to protect against the zero day attacks. So we have these three model specific things which will cover all the threats. And customer no need to buy the enterprise license. They can opt for the any of these three license based on their requirement. So we need to create the BOQ properly for the customer to ready to make it cost effective. You guys know already that Trend Micro has a systematic way of protecting the threats at entry level. In the network, email, USB, we have firewall, IPS, web reputations to stop the attacks. And in the disk level, we have certain set of technology. And during the execution level, the anti-ransomware and everything will be stopped using the set of detection technologies. And during at the last stage, this is the critical stage where the exfiltration happened. We have set of detection technologies like suspicious communication blocking, the CNC blocking, the anti-bot otherwise called, and IPS, the ransomware encryption, everything, the lateral movement will be stopped using certain set of technologies. So we are not relying on any single detection techniques to block everything. Like the so-called next generation antivirus vendors like the CrowdStrike, the Palo Alto Traps, everyone, they don't have uh, these kind of multiple technologies to detect and prevent the attacks. They are relying only on the machine learning and artificial intelligence on entry stage itself. They will use this technology, and they don't have anything to control the dormant virus which are residing on their disk. And if some user copy the file to other machines in the network, then if they don't have the CrowdStrike or Palo Alto traps, then it will affect the other users. So there will be the problem with the dormant virus. They don't have any capability to control that. And they have lots of false positive also, because since they are applying the artificial machine learning techniques on the entry stage itself, uh, they will have high false positive values and high CPU consumption and everything. Unlike the other vendors, Trend Micro follow the systematic way of protecting the threats. On the entry stage, we have the firewall, IPS, web reputation, file reputation, and everything. It will work based on the signature things, and it will block. And the second layer detection, third layer detection, like that, there will be systematic way of protecting the threats. And detect emerging security risk. As I said earlier, we have machine learning and behavior analysis. It will leverage the patterns, the smart scan patterns available in our threat intelligence cloud, which is getting the feed from millions of customers. And these all these things are available in the anti-malware, which will be used to detect the emerging security risk and zero-day attacks and everything. And stop unauthorized changes. How we can stop the unauthorized changes? Through the lockdown of applications. So if we lock down the application usage, we can reduce the threat vectors related to the applications. And this is how we are controlling the threats. And vulnerabilities don't stop or go away. So you can see the Heartbleed vulnerabilities are there. The attacks happened recently, and WannaCry attack happened in one day only, the first day only, more than 30,000 customers are infected with this ransomware attack. So the Trend Micro, 99% it will prevent the anti-ransomware everything. So in case even if the attack happened, we have the strong restoration strategy also. So the file the our behavior monitoring model will frequently look for the IO process and the process launch and everything. And if any legitimate process or any other hacker try to load some malicious things and encrypt the files and folder, it will take the backup of that folder even before the encryption happen and put it in the C drive. So even after the attack, you can retrieve the file, restore the file from the C drive. So um, this kind of strategy also there. So we have a strong response life cycle also. And during the WannaCry time, the heartbleed time, it was using the SMB port vulnerability. So lots of customer not updated not patched the server properly, and it leads to the WannaCry and heartbleed ransomware attack. So during this time, how the Trend Micro deep security will work? Actually, customer no need to detect any, no need to provide manage any patch management software or something, or manually checking the patching and restarting the server after every patch, and this kind of management complexities and everything will be resolved using the Trend Micro deep security. During this time of the ransomware attack, the earlier ransomware attack, we provided signatures to the customer automatically. ZDA detected I detected 1,400 plus vulnerabilities in 2018, and it provided the signatures to the customers as soon as possible. So it will form the virtual layer. It will even if customer not patched for the SMB vulnerability, it will just stop the packets which are targeting the vulnerability automatically by forming the virtual layer, virtual patch mechanism. So this is how we are protecting that. As I said, ZDI is the major contributor of zero-day attacks since 2007, and it has biggest bug bounty program available over the world, and it has a strong internal research team as well. And this is how ZDI team will work. I already described that earlier. So, for example, we will disclose the vulnerability details to the vendor based on the criticality of the vulnerability. The vendor will take up to 3 months, between 2 weeks and 3 months to release the patch. But in between the time, the customer network will leave vulnerable, and ZDI team will provide the patch through deep security, through the threat intelligence cloud. All the Trend Micro customers will be protected against these things. And this virtual patching is available on the endpoint as well as the server, but we don't recommend the endpoint product on the server, because in server the IPS and virtual patching is completely different. Since we are using multiple applications on the server side, it will create more vulnerabilities, and only the deep security will be applicable for that. In case of endpoint, uh, we have less than 250 IPS rule, and it can also provide the virtual patching, but limited to the endpoint level of usage only. And accelerate incident response. So we have a strong response, incident response things. And first we will prevent with the set of detection things, and then detect and then respond, then investigate. For EDR also we have, and we have managed detection and response. We have the MDR team also, and they will take care of all your infrastructure and the Trend Micro products and everything. If you guys need any more details about the MDR or any other thing, you can ping me in WhatsApp, or you can send me the mail. We'll discuss with the customer for opportunities. And deep security for containers. So earlier we saw the underlying technologies, the detection techniques, and everything related to the Trend Micro, which will be applicable for both on-prem and cloud. If I say cloud, then it includes all the environment changes in the cloud. It could be the workloads, the container, the serverless environment, everything. So we are providing unified policy across all the clouds, the multi-cloud and hybrid cloud environments. So this is how the container protection will work. So container also has lots of vulnerabilities, like our on-prem servers and everything. The container also has lots of vulnerabilities. We saw that in the last slide. So you can see this is how the container infrastructure look like, architecture will look like it has very little difference with the VMware ESXi. With the VMware ESXi, the virtualized environment, all the applications will have separate OSs, and in the container environment the same OS is shared by multiple applications. This is the main difference between container and virtualized environment. And uh, and this is how we are providing a security for the containers. So the operating system level, we will install the deep security, and it will take care of all the applications running on the Docker engine and everything. So the same protection policy, whatever we defined earlier, it will be applicable for container environment as well. And as I said, the container specific attacks also there. So attacker may target Docker and Kubernetes to execute attacks. The image execution are there, and the authentication bypass, the networking and micro segmentation. So the lots of things can happen in the Docker engine also. It can be protected using the deep security. And um, and this is how our console will look like. So our dashboard is very user friendly, and you will get more than 300 400 widgets to collect the details specifically about particular things. For example, you need only the ransomware specific events. You can customize accordingly. And if you need the sign in details, the activity overview, the log inspection modules, or the unauthorized change prevention, or how many workloads have security events, based on all your customized requirement, you can customize the dashboard and widgets accordingly. And as I said, the container image scanning, we will do the container image scanning as well, the malware prevention, the vulnerabilities, complaints checking, and everything for the container level as well. And when you apply security controls, that matters. So what this slide explains about, for example, when they are discussing about the DevOps environment, when we apply the security at the entry stage itself, we can control the cost up to 30 times. This is the resolution cost. This is how the workflow stage look like. So security across application life cycle. Deep security, runtime workloads, and container security, and shift left to protect the software built workline. So how the deep security smart check continuous image scanning will work like. So this is for the DevOps environment, how it will look. And uh, and this is the smart check dashboard, how it is looking like, have all your image been scanned, and do any items need attention, or what has been scanned. You will get all the details in the things. And this ZDI team, zero day initiative team, which we already described. So it is started in 2007, and this is the pla- platinum partner of Microsoft and Adobe, because we are the major contributor and top reporter of the vulnerabilities exist with the vendor Microsoft and Adobe worldwide. And we contributed more than 67 percentage of zero day attacks in 2018. So you can see here on the right top corner. So starting with 2005, how many zero day vulnerabilities we detected on yearly basis. So in 2000 up to 2018, we detected in 2018 only we detected around 1,400 plus zero day vulnerabilities. So next is Google Zero Team. After the Zero Day Initiative team, Google Zero Team also there, and Palo Alto Unit 42 is there, and Fortinet team is there. They detected less than 1% of what detected by the Zero Day Initiative team. So this is how our backend team, the internal threat research team of Trend Micro working, and it is very strong compared to all other competitors in the market. So this is about the compliance, and with the deep security we can achieve the compliance very easily with multiple controls and centralized management and unified reporting and everything. So this is built for the hybrid cloud and multi-cloud environment. With the one deep security manager, they can control the environments, the infrastructure in data center, the on-prem data center, the public cloud environment, as well as the container. So we don't have any platform-specific issues, as I said earlier. Thousands of supported kernels with rapid updates. So we are supporting whatever platform available here. We support everything, the AWS, the Red Hat, Windows Server, even the outdated servers like Windows Server 2008, 2003. Even vendors stopped supporting that, but we are supporting through our virtual patching mechanism. So discovery and visibility across your hybrid cloud network. So when you connect, like for example, when you connect the deep security to your public cloud environment like Azure or AWS, you don't need to provision your workloads one by one. It will be the automated process. You just need to connect your public cloud environment using the API, the identifier and everything. So after that, whenever the provisioning or decommissioning happening in the workload, it will be automatically taken by the deep security. When any provisioning of workloads happen, the security will be provided automatically, and when any decommissioning happen, it will release the license automatically. So like that, we will provide the flexible licensing method and automated security for all the workloads. And when you integrate using the API, or you download or you install the software manually, or pushing that through the GPO, or pushing through the deep security manager, whatever you do, the smart folder you can see in the right left corner, it will organize the folder automatically. For example, if any Linux computers or there, Linux servers are there, the Linux computer will automatically go into that Linux folder, and the Windows folder automatically, the Windows server will be going. So like that, based on that, you can create the policy very very easily. For Linux system, you can follow certain set of policy. For Windows system, you can follow certain set of policy. So you can manage the policy consistently and very easily in the automated way. And your physical virtual cloud container, everything will be organized automatically with our deep security automated smart folder. So this explains about how the API connection will work for the multi-cloud and hybrid cloud environments. So So, what are all the SIM platform we support for the automated threat and information sharing? So, our connected threat defense, you can see the smart protection network. This is our threat cloud intelligence, and our deep security product is there, and it can connect to all kinds of SIM store and infrastructure providers, the security controls and everything. So you can forward the events whatever happening in the deep security in the log inspection module. You can forward it to the specific products very easily. So mm, like we can explain about lots of features in deep security, but what exactly the customer need? the customer may don't have anything in mind like they need full security for their workloads. So in this case, we can give the customer this report, the Gartner Cloud Workloads Protection Platform report. This report was available in 2019 and they released for 2020 also. In that, they recommended 25 core controls which are required for the which are required for the cloud workloads and on-prem workloads. So in that, Gartner mentioned some of the few things like the encryption model for the encryption protection for the servers, the integrity monitoring for the servers to protect against unauthorized change, and application lockdown capability, and the IPS, the virtual patching capability. And like that, Gartner recommended 25 controls, and Trend Micro supports 8 out of 8 core controls. And in that Gartner report, only they mentioned about Trend Micro very clearly, which is supporting the most recommended controls by the Gartner. So you can give this report to the customer, and all the I request all the partners also to go through this report, which will give clear picture about the server workloads protection platforms. So what are all the controls required, and what Trend Micro is offering. And as I said in the first slide only, as per the IDC market report, we have more than 30% of market share across the globe, and this is highest for any security providers in the market. And we don't have any competition for the deep security because we are offering that much of features. And after our recent acquisition with cloud conformity, our features are even more increased, and we don't have any competition in the market for the deep security server workloads. So the next session I'm going to conduct about the new product, the cloud conformity. So with these deep security, some additional functionalities are increased for the cloud customers. We'll talk more about that. We will share you the invite, and if you need any details about this product, you may ping me in WhatsApp or send me the mail. You have my details already. Uh, Thanks for joining the session. That's it. The presentation is completed, and if you have any questions, you can check with me now. So I assume there is no questions, and if you have any requirements, you can reach out to me. We'll work together in the future opportunities. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Javed. Thanks for a wonderful session. And I would also like to thank all the attendees for making time and attending the session. We will send you the link to the recorded webinar session so you can always go back and refer to it and write back to us in case of any queries, and we will try our best and answer all of them. Thanks again. I hope all of you have a great evening.